Hello and welcome to another episode of Wannabe Entrepreneur. And today I am for the first time mad at Anchor. Anchor is the platform I use to record and publish this podcast. I really love it. It's kind of the reason why I started this podcast because they made it so simple. And when I released the interview of Tibo, I was expecting a lot of listens because he has 13k followers. I'll do an episode just about that journey. But for my surprise, it was the worst release ever. Because after 1 hour, I had 1 listen. And after 10 hours, I had like 6 listens, which is not normal. Normally, after 1 hour with this podcast, I get 6-7 listens. And after like 10 hours, I have at least 25 to 30 listens. So I didn't understand. I was like, what? Did I do something wrong? But then I kind of started to be suspicious about it. And then I did the next release the next day, and again, very low numbers. So it seems that there's a problem with Anchor, and they are not counting all the listens. I think they're only counting the listens from Spotify or something. And I messaged them, they answered me back, but always with very vague responses. They said they were trying to investigate, they couldn't confirm if this was an issue or not. And it's been more than 3 days now, and I'm still having very low count. And of course, that this kills the motivation because, you suddenly see that you don't have as many listeners, and you don't understand if it's a bug or if people stop listening to it. So I really hope that they fix the issue soon. And I'm also trying to see if there are some alternatives, some other apps that I can use that aggregates all of my listenings in one single platform. But let's stop speaking about this bad news, and let's go a bit in depth in the interview I had with Tibo on Wednesday, because I thought it was so enlightening, so many interesting things that he said. But then I spoke around with a couple of my friends that they didn't fully understand, and I don't know. I guess maybe we didn't transmit the message of or I didn't transmit the message of what were the highlights of what Tibo said, and I want to share here with you a couple of the highlights that I took from that chat, and then you can maybe go back and listen to it. But the first thing that he says that is very counterintuitive is to ask for money right away. And a lot of people, when I speak about my projects, they say, okay, Tiago, focus on users, the money will come after. And I guess this works for startups with a lot of money, with a big VC. But if you are bootstrapping, you need to start making money almost right away, right? Because you don't have a big runway. So you need to make sure that your app will generate money soon. And to do that, what better way to do that than from the starting asking for money? And I know it's a bit weird, and you might not get a lot of users, and that's what I asked him. And he told me something that makes total sense. It's true. It might be that you might miss out in a good idea, because not all the ideas can ask for money right away. But if people start paying right away, it means that that's definitely a good idea, or that's definitely going to be an idea that will generate money. So it's more like a way for you to select the ideas you should focus on, because most likely they will generate a lot of money, or at least an income that will be good enough for you to survive. So I think that's already a very great tip. And he also mentioned that you should, if you're not collecting money, at least collect people's emails, because I guess people sometimes they would rather pay you than give you their email. So if you create like a landing page where you explain the product and you ask for people's emails in case they're interested, and they also share their emails, that's also a great way for you to test your idea without actually even building anything. So I think those here are very great tips. Next thing that he spoke about, which I think is like, I've never thought about it, to be honest, but after he says it, like, it makes so much sense, which is try to do an audience approach or audience first approach. What does this mean? It means that you should build an audience, and that's what they did, right? So they know what is where their passion lays, and for which target users they want to build products. So why not start with the audience, right? So they started having like a Twitter account, Reddit, whatever. They started building an audience, and then they started building products for this audience. And the really benefit here is that you are immediately have your first customers. You don't have to first build a product and then find the customers. Most of them are already there, and it's crucial for the first like days of launch to have a lot of engagement for most platforms. So for instance, most platforms like YouTube, Twitter, Reddit, the algorithm that they use to promote your tweets, your posts, whatever, is the how many engagements you have in the least amount of time. So if in the first hour you have like 1,000 likes and whatever retweets, they will promote it because they take this as a metric of success, that people really like your content. If you already have a community of, let's say, 2,000 followers, that's already huge. Just with that, you release and you get a lot of people interested and you get a lot of feedback. And I have to tell you, for me, for Wolfgang, the entrepreneur I already interviewed here many times, and many other entrepreneurs that I speak with, one of their biggest problems is marketing. Marketing is very expensive, and most of us, we first come up with idea, the product, and then we get the audience. And maybe that's the wrong approach. Maybe it's better to just start with building the audience, because you know already that you are in love with that audience, with that niche, and then start building your product. So I started doing that too now for another area that I'm very passionate about. You already probably know about this, which is sailing. I love to sail, and I really know that one day I would love to have my sailing boat and to have a business around sailing. So why not starting already a Twitter account and starting building a community, so that once this product comes, and I already started thinking about some ideas, by the way, I can just share with the community. So if you are interested in coming with me in this journey, in this Twitter journey, I have an account. I will link the Twitter account on the description. And but it's called, I think it's called More Sailing, at More Sailing, but I'm not sure. So I'll have to check, and I'll link it in the description of this episode. And then we can, go together and see if this approach, audience approach, works. Here I am a wannabe entrepreneur. I'm learning, and I'm learning with you. I'm experimenting, and I'm learning with the people I interview. So it's just an experiment. I think it makes a lot of sense, and I'll start building my communities for the products I have. I'm building a community for Change It, building a community for Wannabe Entrepreneur. But there, I already had a project, I already had a product. Now I will do the different approach, and I'll let you know if this works or not. And this was another Wannabe Entrepreneur. See you tomorrow.